Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Check out this gorgeous chrome almond French set if you are interested in seeing how I got this done. Stay tuned. So this client had this previous set. You can check that out. I will link it in the cards for you. It was that really gorgeous sheer nude acrylic color that I was like gushing over. With a little bit of fun, we encapsulated some gold foil and some foil leaf glitter things in there. It was really nice and simple. And she came back around 2 to 3 weeks. This client is trying to get into the habit of coming more consistently and not waiting until her nails are like falling off in between sessions. So she came back about 3 weeks after, and they look really good. There was very little lifting. And we were actually initially going to go in and do a same color refill or infill or backfill or whatever you call it. But I realized that the color Bare, that sheer acrylic color that she has on right now, actually didn't have very much of it left. So I didn't know if it would be enough to do the backfill. So we decided to change colors and go for something a little bit different, but still in the same nude sheer kind of family. So that's why I'm taking it down as much as I am. Also, we're going to try something a little bit different today. So I am not taking these nails down all the way. She did not have a clear coat of acrylic placed on her nails before going in with that sheer color. Luckily, the color that we did add before was very, very sheer. So I'm not concerned with it affecting any colors or anything like that. But I'm just debulking so that when we go in with the new color, her nails are not super, super thick. We don't want that for her. I'm using my 5-in-1 triple coarse, so extra coarse 5-in-1 bit. It's a carbide bit, so definitely want to be careful with this one. And I've got my speed up all the way up to 35,000 RPM. That's just how I like to go in with the removal process, or at least with the debulking process of when clients come back. It just works for me that way. I use the back part of the bit, as you can see, the middle to back part of the teeth, to kind of really grind down the product. And then when I'm getting close to the client's cuticle area or wherever I feel like there might be lifting, that's when you'll see me using the very, very tip. So right there, I'm using the very, very tip of the bit. The beautiful thing about the 5-in-1 is that it has small teeth at the tip, and then the teeth get larger and more aggressive towards the back of the bit. So in terms of debulking, to remove product, you're going to use the middle to the back of the bit, and when you get to the more precarious areas, you're going to use the front tip of the bit. Just use it, you know, at whatever speed works for you. There are tons and tons of bits. You don't even have to go in with the triple course. I just, you know, really like how aggressive it is in terms of removing. I don't want to spend too much time during this part of the process. When I started doing nails, I feel like it feels like it took me like 5 hours to remove a set. That's what it felt like. But now I'm getting it off in like 10 to 15 minutes, and that comes with time and just getting comfortable with, you know, the tools you're using and, you know, your craft pretty much. But yeah, I'm just debulking the product as much as I can and not getting down to her natural nail. So there is, as you can see, a coat of that same acrylic down, because we're just going to build on top of that. If there is any lifting, again, I'm just using the tip of the bit to lightly, and I'm not pressing down aggressively, just to lightly let the speed and the bit kind of flake away any white areas, that is lifted area, so that we can build on a nice fresh application. So to get started, I like to spray my clients down with some alcohol. It just helps to moisten up the skin and to kind of disinfect a tiny bit. And it helps me to push back the skin a bit. I'm using a metal, I always say medical pusher, but it's metal cuticle pusher. I'm using a metal cuticle pusher to just honestly push the skin back. I'm not really focused on scraping. I'm just pushing the eponychium away to expose a lot of that dead skin or cuticle that's on the nail plate. And then I'm gonna go in with my bits to kind of get into that process. But this is how I start off every single set. Now I'm going in with this diamond abrasion skiver bit. It is a pointy kind of, yeah, just like a pointy point. I don't even know how to describe it. Bit. It has a diamond abrasion, which basically means it's very similar to like an emery board or a nail file, just in a metal bit form. It's safe to use on the natural nail, and I don't really focus it on the natural nail. I focus it more around the epinicium area, and I like that it's pointy because after pushing the skin away, you can kind of get this bit up underneath that skin without really scratching or, you know, hurting your client, and it just helps to scrape away any cuticle that's there, so that you don't get lifting prematurely. It's just something that I like to do. It gets rid of a lot of that dead skin that may not be visible because it's hiding underneath the skin that you pushed back, but it's just a really, really good bit that I like to use. And now to prep the actual nail that has grown out and is exposed, I'm going in with my sanding band on my mandrel bit, and we're just giving the nail the entire nail really a nice buffing in terms of the natural nail. You saw how little time I spent there. We're not trying to grind down that natural nail. We're just etching it up to give it a nice kind of scuffed appearance so that whatever enhancement we apply on top has something to hold on to. And I'm using it on the acrylic, the previous acrylic, to kind of thin out those areas and also give it a rough texture so that the new application has something to stick to. Nothing crazy, not spending a lot of time here. We don't want to damage the natural nail of your client, and you don't want to cause rings of fire by dipping into it too hard. So I'm trying to keep my pressure as light as possible, using my pinky, as you can see, as like a fulcrum or a way to press the pressure into my pinky so that my hand is really light on the client's finger. And whenever I find my clients have like coarser skin around or dry skin around the nail, I like to go in with this ball bit. It is also a diamond abrasion, so safe to use on the natural nail, but I'm actually not placing it on the nail. This is just for the skin area, the sidewalls and epinicium. If I see dead flaky skin, I turn it up and I just grind it away. And this is actually not a painful process. A lot of clients feel like this feels really comfortable. It's kind of like a massage kind of, and they really enjoy this part, especially this client. She's very like insecure about her dry skin. I'm like, girl, just moisturize. She says she does, but you know, but yeah, I just use this. I think it also helps just in the appearance of the overall process. At the end, you don't want to have like super gorgeous nails and then the client has like dry sidewalls. So I just think it's really cool to just kind of give them a nice appearance around the nail and a good nail at the same time. And it's prime time. I'm going in with my favorite Mia Secret dehydrator. You could use an alcohol wipe. Honestly, you just want to dry out the nail, remove any moisture or oils that naturally might be there from the client's skin. Then I'm going in with some primer. This is the Valentino Super Bond. I've been loving it. It's been working really well for me, whether or not I'm using Valentino products or not. So I'm just in the habit of, you know, grabbing it right away. But any primer that works for you is what you should use. So the color that we're working with today, this client really loves a nice simple nude situation, especially with this new shape that we're trying on her. This is Bare by Sugar and Cream, and I got this a really long time ago. I feel like I haven't touched my Sugar and Cream acrylics in a long time, but like I mentioned, the color that we used last was Skin by Quali acrylics, and I was running really low on it. It's a fave among my clients, so I didn't have enough to definitely do a new set for her. So we were looking through my collection and we were like, we wanted to kind of be sheer and natural colored looking, and Bare was the next best option. It is not as warm as in brown as the previous color. It's a little bit more beigey pink, but it looks really, really close to her natural nail bed color, so we decided to go for it. So all of the nails are going to get this nice, gorgeous application of this beautiful color, and as usual, I'm patting to my heart's content. I'm a big believer in just molding my acrylic beforehand so that I don't have to do too much filing after. And there you go. Folding over the product is really awkward on a rounded tip nail, but just using the body of my brush to kind of mold that product back around the tip. We want it to be a nice, long, kind of tapered almond, not like a pointy almond or a super broad almond for her. And just building up the product appropriately. It's a good amount of length on these for her. And like I mentioned before, pointier shaped nails have different stress points, so you just want to make sure that the product is sitting in the right area so that they have the structure that they need. You don't want them to be cracking around the sidewalls or showing stress fractures or anything like that. And you want them to last. You don't want these to break because the apex is in the wrong area. So just, you know, a regular acrylic application, not much to say, using Bare by Sugar and Cream. So I'm up to the last finger. This is her thumb. I'm gonna do this in a few beads. I think for the rest I was doing like 2 beads or something like that, but for the thumb I always feel like I have to do an extra bead just because the thumb is a little bit wider than the others. So I'm starting off with like a medium to larger size bead. Right around the client's natural free edge is usually where I try to start my first bead, and I place it, and my goal is to kind of spread it out to the entire width of the nail. I very much do not like when the acrylic doesn't make it all the way to the sides. You can see like the previous color, or you don't get enough coverage. So that's what I'm doing. Then I'm going to dry out my brush as much as possible to kind of, you know, urge the acrylic to dry a little bit while massaging it down the length of the nail and just going around side to side, you know, making sure the product is reaching the entire sidewalls. And then from here, you'll see me start molding that product. So I am tapping my brush constantly on my napkin to remove monomer to get the acrylic to dry during this process. And this is pretty much where, whether, you know, the shape is rounded or pointy or not, I'm going to start molding that acrylic to the shape that I want it to be. Then I'm going in with a nice, bead, a slightly smaller bead, and it's going a little bit higher than the previous one. And again, I spend some time pushing it to the sidewalls, making sure that we have full coverage and cleaning up whatever, you know, shouldn't be touching the skin. Always trying to just make sure that we have a smooth application. You don't want it to be lumpy and bumpy because then you're gonna have to do a lot of surface filing and or hand filing afterwards. Then I'm going in with my cuticle beads. So my cuticle beads, I like to dry out a tiny bit because I don't want them to backflow into the skin. And I always place them a little bit underneath the actual cuticle area or the eponychium. And as you can see, I'm pushing the product to where I want it to go with my brush and then blending downwards. So I wanna make sure that it's covering as much of the nail as possible. I don't want any gaps. And if it does tend to flow, then using the edge of the bristles of my brush to kind of clean that up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The thumb is done for the most part, but if I feel, you see me twisting the finger side to side, if I can see some areas right there that I feel need a little bit more structure, just going in with additional beads. First blending in this new bead so that it doesn't look like a big lump on top of what we just did, and then blending down appropriately. And I'm always twisting the finger side to side. It's not an aggressive twist, but just, you know, looking to see if there's anywhere else I can apply more product to give more structure or coverage to the nail. So you saw on the left, I turned it to the right. I'm like, I feel like we can see a little bit there. So just adding additional beads. I don't even know if that counts as a bead, but I just felt like we needed a little bit more coverage there. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go in with my filing. I like to e-file before hand filing, so there we go. I'm using my favorite. I like using a medium non-safety carbide bit. It just works for me. It's like Goldilocks, right? The coarse would be too much, eating up the product. The fine is not doing enough. The medium is just right for me. I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I can debulk if necessary, but I can also blend and smooth the surface of the nail at the same time. So that's just what I'm doing. I have my speed to about a medium to high speed. Can't tell you, sorry, my e-file does not have numbers or like an LED display. It really is just by feel. And I do my best to place, you can see my fingers are right next to her sidewalls. So if I do happen to lose control of the bit, it's not going to spin around her fingers because that happened to me a lot as a beginner. It will just stop at my hand. So that's just a safety precaution that I've gotten into. And it just gives me more support on the nail. So when I'm pressing with the e-file, I have like a counter pressure point, I guess. And I like to clean underneath the nail and then go side to side, up and down. I said up and down, side to side, up the entire length of the nail to pretty much give it a smooth surface finish, and then go around the sidewalls and cuticle area to kind of blend and everything like that. And occasionally you'll see me run my thumb down the length of the nail. That's me swiping to feel if I can feel any disturbances in the texture, and then go from there. But for the most part, I just want these nails, especially for an almond super simple shape like this and super acrylic application, super simple acrylic application, I just want it to be really, really nice and clean. So that's why I'm going back and forth over the surface. And then you'll see me take the very, very edge, which is why I love a non-safety. You can get that sharp edge right and tight. There you go. You see me using the very, very edge of that tip to kind of clean up the cuticle and sidewall areas. You want that area to be nice and thin and flush. There you go. Getting it in there. And I feel like it just helps me so much. I have a hard time using like dome tops to do that. I feel like I could never really get nice and tight up in there, but you know, it's my personal preference. Do whatever works for you, but we're just going to be e-filing these nails until I'm happy with the surface. So to ensure that these nails look extra, extra gorge, I'm going in with this awesome bit. It is also a diamond abrasion, so super safe for the natural nail, but I'm actually using it to really, really clean up and remove any excess dead skin around that cuticle area. I've got it pretty high. It is safe to use on the natural nail, but this is actually just for her skin. It's just like an extra cleanup. If any acrylic happened to get there, or if there's any extra cuticle, it just really helps to clean up that surface. And you see I'm not spending a lot of time there. It's just, you know, to make things look more aesthetically nice and clean. Time to hand file. So this is not a super square shape. We are going in and cleaning up this almond shape. I do like to file underneath the tip of a pointy shape. It just helps to make it nice and thin. You want it to kind of taper from a really thin cuticle, have the bulk in the middle, and then taper back down to a nice thin point. And as you can see, using a super light hand to make sure this happens. So I'm gonna again clean my sidewalls, file underneath the nail a little bit, and then just slowly left to right, making sure that the shape is nice and clean. Basically the nails have a pretty good shape, but this is just to sharpen things up or to clean things up in this case. So now we can get to the fun stuff. I'm just using my rose brush to clean things up, and we've got a really gorgeous application here. So this client was adamant about going gold and going chrome. So I got these really cool gold stickers from Amazon a few months ago, and I didn't know that they were stickers. I actually thought that they were water decals. So we had chosen these, but I thought that they were going to be super flush to the nail, like water decals, but they are actually really thick kind of vinyl stickers. And at this point I was like, damn, I'm kind of screwed. I wish I would have known, because I would have encapsulated them, right? Just because of the texture. They're so, as you can see, I'm like really pressing, and they're creasing. It's a really gorgeous kind of like snakeskin metallic chrome sticker, but because it's such a thick vinyl kind of sticker, I was like, damn, I cannot top coat this. These will peel off in 2 days. So I'm just using my scissors to cut off any excess around that almond shape, right? Especially with this shape, it's going to be really hard to like get that top coat to kind of seal this heavy sticker in. So I was like, you know what I'm going to have to do is encapsulate this. So I'm going to pull out my hard gel. I think I'm using an Ibd Hard Gel, and we are going to encapsulate this with some hard gel, because there's no way I'm going to send this client away with a sticker like this with just some top coat. Definitely not going to happen. So before that, we decided to go in and do some chrome French, which was really cool. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I'm just going in with some top coat. This is Glossy from Not Polish, and I'm just using a small detail brush to paint on some really cool French designs on this almond nail. So just making sure that it's nice and centered with the round of the nail, and then I'm gonna have the client cure. We're gonna do this on every single finger except for the middle finger that has a sticker. Once done curing all of those nails, it's time to just burnish in this really gold chrome. I got this chrome on Amazon. It's by Beetles, but you can honestly find chrome anywhere. And you just want to make sure that you're rubbing it nice and hard into that top coat, and it should give you a nice coating of the chrome. Initially, we wanted the ring finger to be the entire nail in chrome, but we did change our mind, which is why later you're going to see that it's not the same. She just felt like it was a lot having the sticker and the whole finger, so no problem. But yeah, just using my gold chrome, I'm using a makeup sponge. Is that what this is called? Like a makeup eyeshadow sponge, to just push it in. You can use like a gloved finger, you can use like a silicone tool, but we just wanted to make sure that we had some nice gold shine on this set. One tip if you're going to be doing chrome French is just to make sure that you really wipe down the nail before applying that top coat, because the chrome is going to stick to anything that is mildly sticky or oily, etc. If you dry out the nails or use like a dehydrator on the nail before applying your top coat, then you won't have to worry about that. But as you can see, I did not do that like I normally do, and thus we got chrome in places that we didn't want. No biggie. I'm just taking an alcohol wipe and very carefully kind of erasing wherever I don't want the chrome to be. That's the beautiful part of it. It's just sticking to the top coat so I'm able to just wipe away whatever I don't want. And like I mentioned before, we didn't want the ring finger to be chrome anymore, so you can always just wipe off the chrome. So that's really cool too. So here I am using my Ibd Hard Gel, and we are going to be encapsulating this sticker nail. So I'm taking a big old dollop of it, making sure to press down that sticker again. It's a really gorgeous sticker, but I don't know why I thought it was a water decal. If I knew that it was a heavy sticker, I would have done it on top of the previous acrylic and just encapsulated in clear, honestly, so that we didn't have to worry about the texture. Last thing that I want clients to have to worry about is like stickers or decals or anything like that peeling up off the nail because they're just not encapsulated appropriately. So my focus here is not to build up structure because pretty much the nail has been built up to where it needs to be. I'm just making sure to fully encapsulate that sticker with this hard gel so that it's underneath the nail and doesn't cause any like weird texture for the client. And if you've worked with gels before, I'm just going back and forth, building up, making sure that the gel wraps around the sides of the sticker and getting on the nail. So that was pretty much my slip layer. And now we're just going to build up and really, you know, drag the product down, moving side to side, nothing crazy. Do know that gel products or gel nails in general do create heat when curing. So definitely, you know, I always talk to my clients when I'm working on them, like, okay, you about to feel some heat now. This is why, but just so you know, when clients are like, ooh, this burns, it's going to. It's an exothermic reaction. When you put it in the light, it needs to cure, it releases heat. There's nothing, literally nothing you can do about it. That's just how these products work. So just let them know. Then the client has cured and we need to smooth out the surface of this nail. Beautiful thing about gels though is that they're a lot softer than acrylics, right? You don't have to worry about filing to your heart's content with a gel. It really files easily. So I'm going back in with that medium carbide bit and we're just smoothing out the surface of the nail. And I'm really glad that I did this because the sticker was really thick and I didn't want the client to have to worry about that texture on the nail. So I'm just smoothing it out, debulking wherever necessary. I'm going to hand file really quickly after, and then this finger is locked down. So we added chrome to that ring finger that we decided to change, and the last step is to glossy top coat all of these nails. So just to lock in the chrome and the beautiful acrylic application that we had for her, we are just going in with our Gloss It from Not Polish, making sure to seal all the way around these almond nails. You're going to see me wiggling the brush around the tip a little bit. I'm going to have her cure for a minute, and then this set is done. So here you go, check out her final set. It was really cool and kind of graphic, but simple as well. Love the chrome, love the French, love those stickers. Yeah, I think it came out great. Definitely let me know what color you would choose for your chrome. Maybe I would choose like a red or even black chrome. That might be cool. Like this video if you like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.